Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jake Reviews, and in front of me is a beautiful 2000, I think 7, 8, I'm not exactly sure, Kubota M6040. Now let me ask you, so Jake, you're a car reviewer, not a tractor reviewer. Well, because of the coronavirus, I can't really review cars, so I'm reviewing some tractors I am, and this is one of them. And I'm calling this series Tractors of Corona. And the reason why you brought another question in my head is why am I not in front of the camera? And that's because I have misplaced my GoPro tripod mount. The way GoPro works is you have to have a little special mount in order for it to click to, and that clicks to my tripod, and now it makes it all work. And I lost that. I was in the fields yesterday filming the F250 yesterday, which you haven't seen the video, link in the description below. And so that's a setback. And the tractor I was going to film today for the first tractor I was going to do was going to be a much smaller than this, and this not working right. So a lot of setbacks, but here I got you guys a tractor for the first actual tractors of Corona, and here it is. It was built from 2007 to 2013. This is one of our newer tractors than the others I'll be filming. It's quite good. It's obviously quite big. The M6040 is pretty much the size. I forget exactly what it means, but it's one of their bigger tractors that they have. There are some bigger models. There's a 740, 7040, and I think an 8040. I think, don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly sure. And in terms of engine, they have this and its bigger brother have the same, I believe, about the same engine, or offer the same engine, which is a 3.2 liter. I want to say makes about 63.5 horsepower. But you think that's not a lot? Well, these things aren't made to go fast. They're very torquey. They're made to work. These are work machines. They aren't made to go fun and have fun. This is when you're like, okay, this is when you get home from your weekend, having fun with your Camaro, wherever you have, you get back to work. This is what you use to work if you live on the farm. But this is also this has some really cool, useful, which you're going over. So without further ado, let's take a walk around. These are pretty modern headlights. Older tractors I'll be showing you guys don't really have this modern of a look, but since this is a much newer of a tractor than all of our other tractors we have, it does have modern headlights, so it looks kind of like a car. And in terms of year, that's the reason why we don't really know the year. Tractors don't really care about the years. They do have certain years they make them, but they don't really care about what year it's made, because most people don't really care. They just buy the tractor when they need it. When it breaks, they buy a new one. That's kind of how it is. But main thing, this does have 4x4 drive. Yes, you can get a tractor with just 2-wheel drive. I don't recommend it, because if you get stuck, it's on you. And you got pretty big tires. These are ginormous tires. Big thing about a tractor is it's big. It's big tires. I can probably fit my head in. Probably fit my head in there pretty good. Yep. That's how big they are. These things are ginormous. I don't even want to know how big these things are, but you're not really going fast, so it's not like you're gonna hurt anything. But still. Here's a more attached to it. So a lot of people don't know about tractors is you can't just stick them. It doesn't really come with a mower, or you have to buy that separately, and you can't just magically pull up to it and then hook up. Things like this, you have to hook it up yourself. And what you do is you take these hoses and everything, you bolt everything together, hook that up, and then you got it working. And I'm going to show you a little how it works in a few minutes. So pretty nice. So let's hop on in. Now, one thing to mention is tractors have their exhaust pump up ahead. The reason for that is most people who own these tractors or work in the fields, and if if it was on the body, you might run over something and damage it. You don't want to do that. So that's why a lot of tractors are pointing upwards. But I do have a tractor which I'll be showing you that is not that way, and that's because it's used for the city. More on that when we get to that tractor. All right, let's hop on in. You got your standard steering wheel. You pretty much feel like a king when you're on top of this thing. Now, once I start this thing, it's going to get pretty loud. So I'm going to show you some of the controls while it's off. You get your gear shift. Now, this is not necessarily, this is technically a manual. It's like it's a weird mix. So this only goes forwards and rear. This is pretty much what direction you're going. Whereas a car, you have reverse gear and every other gear besides neutral goes forward. This here, you get to tell the tractor which direction you're going. You have a clutch, just like a car. Tractors do have clutches, but just like a car, in order to stop, you have to press the clutch to get to stop. To get the move, get to stop. But unlike a car, you don't have to start it with a clutch in. So, well, some cars you do, but this one specifically, but most tractors you don't have to, and that's because they're very low torque. So they have the low geared, and so got a lot of torque. So really, they don't need to have that safety issue. And plus, you're not really going that fast. And on top of that, you don't have to do the balancing that you have. I seem to have a problem with some cars, so I'm not going to be stalling this thing unless you go a little fast. Here's your gear shifter. This is how you make it go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 gears, and it has a fast speed and a low gear. So you control it right here. You got your rabbit and turtle. Now, whenever you're working with tractors, these two symbols are constantly everywhere. Obviously, turtle is for slow. This is pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, and then high gear. I believe it's 5, 6, and 7. I think that's how it works. I know my John Deere works that way, but I don't know exactly if it works that way. Don't quote me on that. But generally, there's no slow. We're going slow. It's going to go really slow. If you put it in high, it's probably going to go fast. We're going to start off, I believe we're going to put it in maybe 2 or maybe 3, something like that. Now when you're saying, whoa, Jake, don't do that. With a tractor, you can. Unlike a car, you don't have to put it in first gear to get going. You can put it in any gear you want. But I don't recommend putting too high of a gear because you can stall it. You can stall a tractor. It's really hard to, but if you put too much gas, it will not go. And don't do that. Here is your auxiliary. You pull that up and down to get that thing to move. You have your lockings and a bunch of stuff. This thing has a lot of controls on here that I'm not going to mess with too much. You got your seatbelt because you gotta be safe when you're on this thing. You got your hazard symbol. You got your headlights. Most tractors do have headlights. You got turn signals. That's because this is made so you can turn. It is made to go on the road. Now, do not take a tractor on the road. It's mainly meant for if you're on the road, you have turn signals. Now, I forgot a thing to mention. This sign right here is a hazard. That means this is a slow-moving vehicle. This is a slow-moving vehicle, so therefore, it's slow. So without further ado, I'm going to start it up. It's going to get pretty loud, so I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on the head. When we restart, it's going to get pretty loud. So I don't have my microphone with me, so yeah, this is going to be fun. To start this, you don't have to push the clutch in like we said before. You just turn the key. Please don't radio or anything like that. It gets pretty loud in here because this thing has like no exhaust. There's no muffler at all, so you're getting the full-blown engine of that beautiful four-cylinder. Without further ado, let's drive a tractor. First thing you want to do is lower this down. Pull that thing right there. There we go. You push that thing forward and then let it out. Alright, to drive this, push in the clutch, put in the forward drive, put it in first gear, I believe in first gear, to start up and slow, and you'll start moving. Now, as you can see, this is pretty slow. Not really something you want to push it to go. So, we're going to push in the clutch, push in the second, and you see, it moves a little bit faster. Now watch this. I'm going to put it back in the first. Shift it to high gear, and look, it's moving much, much faster now. And much louder. Little side effect of this thing. Let's go this way. The faster you go, the louder it gets. Also, I forgot to mention, be sure your equipment is up. My equipment's already up, but if it's not up, quiet. I was gonna go through this field for you guys, but I got told not to do that because this thing is really big. Unlike the truck where it doesn't really matter, this thing will squash pretty much anything. He's got some soybean over here he doesn't want messed with, so we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna go on through the edge right here. So, thing I forgot to mention. So some tractors have a high and low gear, some tractors have a gas, some tractors don't have a gas, just have a high and low gear, like this one. And then some tractors just have both, so it depends. This one doesn't really have a mixture. This high and low gear is both the gas, or what you say, the fuel, and it's also the high and low gear. This doesn't really have a 5, 6, and 7. I was told wrong. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. Some tractors do have higher gears and low gears. This doesn't have that. This just has a 4 gears and high and slow and fast speed. That's about it. It's a tractor. To really show you what it can do, I had to get some mowing, but there's nothing really to do with it. And if I try to mow this, I will get yelled at because it's already been the way he likes it. And the farmer doesn't really want his stuff messed with. You know, I am not a farmer. This is just my land I have. But our friend Ronnie, who comes in and takes care of it, he does mow it and he likes it the way he likes it. Doesn't really have to take care of it. So we're not going to do that. That's about it with this tractor. It's a tractor. It is what it is. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a like and subscribe. I'm sorry this video is a little weird, but you know, Corona is a little weird itself. We have no real hitters with the fire top. But that's it for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.